welcome to my leadership capstone. This is Colin Doolittle for CTE 6750. Today is the 12th of December. So the first question that was brought up was our leadership concepts. What do we think? What are we going to take away from this class as far as concepts? So I actually broke it into theories. First being trait theory, skill theory, style theory, and situational approach. Now, for each one of these theories, there were meaningful things to me, in particular about them, that made them, think of things that I'll actually take away as I move forward. Trait theory. Trait theory really talks about, that there are certain traits that we are born with, such as intelligence, persistence, confidence, and social intelligence. And I have to say that I really prescribe to a lot of this. There are certain things about leaders that they're born with. Intelligence, obviously, when we talk about intelligence, we're talking about capabilities. We're talking about, do they understand what is going on with individuals, with other people, as well as what's going on in situations. Now, intelligence, obviously, in trait theory, is important because we're talking about that somebody has to be naturally intelligent in order to really get the whole concept. I kind of adopt this, but with that said, people also need to know how to use their intelligence. I'm fortunate where I work at a community college where there are many very intelligent people, but on the flip side of that, they really don't know how to apply their intelligence. So with trait theory, we talk about intelligence. Yes, it's important, but intelligent people don't necessarily make great leaders, and it's something that is important to me simply because, just because they're smart doesn't make them a good leader. Persistence, I think, is a trait of individuals. You meet certain individuals that just have drive, and because they have drive, they just move forward and they keep moving on and they keep moving on and they just keep fighting for what they believe in. Again, under the guise of trait theory, it's said that it's born in. I prescribe to that somewhat, but we'll talk more about that later. Confidence, obviously, any leader that we have, this is where I really take a lot of credence in trait theory, is that somebody has to be confident in order to be a leader. We're not going to follow somebody who thinks of themselves as less than what others will think of themselves as. We're not going to follow somebody who thinks that they're beneath the people that they're leading. So in that concept, we've all met people that believe that that they are confident, not arrogant, but confident in their abilities. And social intelligence is something that trait theory really hits home on. It's that ability to interact with others, which many will say that can be taught, and I know personally I try to teach parts of that in certain classes I teach, but social intelligence really is one of those things that you meet those people that are so charismatic and they just know how to interact with everybody. And it's hard to believe that it can be taught rather than it's just a born-in process. I'm not saying that I don't believe that it can't be taught or adopted by certain individuals, but it is a difficult thing to learn. Skill theory, talking about a set of skills that can be learned. We've got technical, conceptual, and human skills. Okay, so I do believe that from skill theory, I do take away that technical skills can be taught. They definitely need, to know what they're dealing with. If we looked at technical skills from the aspect of, let's say I'm working at a plastics manufacturing plant, which is what my background's in. The technical skills come along and they can be learned and they can be used as an effective leader, because many people that like to be led like to know at least that the person leading them has some concept of what is actually going on. Where I have a little difficulty with skill theory, again, is the human skills, because, again, just like I said about trait theory, I really think those things can be, certain things can be taught, but really it is a very difficult thing to carry off all the way. Conceptual, obviously being able to conceptualize, a plan, a formation of a plan, and looking at the big picture. Again, with skill theory, I really prescribe to the technical aspects, because conceptualization is something that is more difficult to teach as well, because they have to look at all the different aspects and then bring it into one certain area. So if I were to say that there's something I take away from skill theory, it would definitely be that technical aspects can be taught, and it is important to leadership. Style theory, which would be the personal handling of all situations, both task-oriented and relationships. I prescribe style theory in the sense that tasks and understanding tasks and what needs to be done to get the job done, definitely agree with that. And the understanding of style theory, we do have to talk about, they understand what is actually, actually happening in the situation, rather than, just understanding any particular technical aspect. They need to see the people, they need to see the project, they need to see all of that. In style theory, I think that I really take that to heart, that they have to understand the tasks, and they need to be explained the tasks, those people, the subordinates of the leader. With that said, again, style theory says that, you can learn to manage relationships, and you can learn to manage relationships. You can learn to be deal with different people on different levels, and you talk about conflict management and things like that. But where style theory lacks, in my opinion, is really with the idea that we can manage relationships, but do you truly understand the individuals? I have a boss in particular who is a very good boss. He is a true leader, but his relationship skills really lack. I mean, he really looks at personal interaction as a side note. His answer to anything going on with anybody is basically suck it up, or stitch it up. His words, stitch it up. And, that's where I think, style theory lacks a little bit, because you're talking about, individual relationships that need to be managed. And even though he's a good leader, and he probably would fall into the style theory category, he just managing relationships is not a strong point. And again, I don't think it's something that can be taught. Finally, we come to the situational approach, which what I take away from that is that the situation truly dictates my actions. Depending on what is going on, who I'm dealing with, what level they're at, whether they're new, excited, but don't really understand, or they're going through that midlife or mid-career crisis, where it takes a lot to motivate them, but they're skilled enough. And then you have, the last tier where they're highly skilled, but also highly motivated, whether it be they're coming towards the end of their career, or they're just excited about new things, or whatever. The situational approach, in my mind, I'm going to take away the fact that, we have these tiers of people, and we have to understand where each of those individuals are actually coming from, in order to manage them effectively, in order to lead them effectively. I shouldn't say manage, to lead them effectively. So, future leadership influences for me, okay? Basically, insights that I've gained into my leadership style. One, leadership roles. My role as a leader is not to manage projects. It is not to go through the mundane details. My role from this course is to actually lead, for people to look up to me and be like, yeah, I will follow him off the edge of the cliff. I will follow him anywhere. And as I look at these styles and I look at trait theory, skill theory, or style theory, in the end, it's all about not managing, but leading. And as an educator, I really think that it's important for me to understand, grasp, and take that concept wholeheartedly, because I want my students to look at me as a leader and not just somebody who is knowledgeable in a subject. I want them to look at me as knowledgeable in a subject and want to follow me through the process of education. I'm not saying they have to sign up for all my classes or anything like that, but by the end of my courses, I want them to go, you know what? He believes in education. He believes in what he's teaching, and I want to be influenced by that. And recently, I just took a poll, or not a poll, but did some research on retention in my classes versus retention in the school. Retention at our community college right now, semester to semester, is about 59%. Retention of the students that are in my classes is about 91%. So based upon that, I'm looking at my philosophy as being, this mesh of these theories that I adhere to really truly, make an impact on my students. And since my students are the people that I want to lead, I guess, I look at my philosophy as I'm going to mesh the theories that I've identified as truly being what I want my students to gain out of all of this. Leadership issues in the future. All right. One are legal issues. Okay, you have to understand that my background is a military background. So there are times that, I want to push my students much harder than they're willing to go. And legal ramifications of that are the fact that we are in such a litigious society. We like to sue for everything. We're at the point in education that, no cell phones, no cameras, no recorders, none of the traditional things, because what if we say something wrong? What if we look at, if we stand up, and a certain student needs to be motivated not by coddling, but rather by tough love, we have to be concerned about our careers and our jobs. So there are a lot of future legal issues that we're facing. And as far as quality of education, if we look at the quality of education, there may be a point that somebody says, okay, well, I have this degree, and this degree is supposed to get me this job, but I wasn't able to attain that job, so therefore your degree is lacking, therefore I'm going to sue you in your school because you did not basically fulfill the promise that you gave me by getting this education. So I see those as future issues, definitely, and I just don't think they're going away unless we get some tort reform in this country. The other issue that we're really facing in higher ed, as far as I'm concerned, or at least at the institution I'm at, is online learning and academic freedom. We are trying to standardize somewhat our online learning program, so when students go ahead and sign up for classes, especially if they've taken another online class or they've taken a couple online classes, they basically look and flow the same. Now, the reason we're trying to do this is so our students' experiences are fairly consistent amongst instructor to instructor, course to course, so they don't get frustrated with having to try to learn something brand new, or at least with a learning management system, something brand new for the next course, and then they just get frustrated and quit. But what we're facing, again, at my institution is many of the instructors are claiming, well, it's my academic freedom to design my course any way I want and do it any way I want, and that's the way it is. And no matter how much data you present them on, look, these are good approaches, like a module approach or something like that, and learning styles for individuals, and that they should be doing podcasts, and they should also be doing lecture notes and this, that, and the other. They're like, no, academic freedom. And the further we go with technology and online learning, the more pushback we have. I really think in 5 to 10 years, when online learning is a huge part of most institutions, you're going to see a large pushback, especially by traditional instructors, those who have gone through the traditional education system, such as philosophy or English or humanities, whatever. I think this is going to be a real issue for our leaders to be able to, or to have to fight with the educators. So I mean, these are big issues that the leaders are going to have to really step up and go, look, these are the ramifications. This is what we need to look at, and this is how we need to handle it. So with that said, my conclusion of the class: I thought this was a wonderful class. I thought that understanding more of the actual theory side of leadership has helped me immensely become a more effective leader, both in the classroom and at the institution. Simply because I think I really prescribed the style theory. I think it kind of lends itself well to me because of the classroom, but it's made me look at other things. I kind of believe in trait theory. I kind of believe that there are certain qualities you're born with. Skill theory, having a set of skills, a technical knowledge. All of these things have started playing on me more, so much so that, now when I'm in meetings with fellow faculty or even other administrators, I tried to take more of a role of not a manager but a leader, because my opinion, I believe, can have a profound influence on the future of the community college that I work at, and one which I truly love. So I thought this was a great class. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the individual work. I really enjoyed the group work, and with that said, I really want to thank you for being such a great instructor, and also thank you for understanding the issues that I faced this semester. You didn't have to, and I truly appreciate it. I hope you enjoy the format that I chose to do this in. Maybe it's a little different than what you normally are used to. So, Jeff, I appreciate it, and I wish you the best. And I think I'm going to try to sign up for your class next semester as well. But if I don't end up in that class, just know you did a great job, and I truly appreciate it. Have a great and have a great holiday, great break, and talk to you later.